welcome to Nocturnal Simulations. Tonight we are on the in the much anticipated Black Square TBM850. We've been taking pleasure in the VOR navigation lately, and with the days getting shorter, we thought why not up the ante and navigate this way at night. So sit back and prepare for an adventurous flight. Let's hope we stay on course, of course. We're departing from Bangor International Airport and heading southwest to Syracuse Hancock International. Before we get started, I'd like to show my appreciation for everyone who supported the channel up to this point, and to point out that any additional support through Super Chats, Buy Me Coffee, or affiliate links below is always appreciated. With that, let's dive back into the cockpit and get started. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I had to shut my door real quick. I forgot to do that. Okay, so we did have a nice sunset. Missed a lot of it at the beginning of the stream here, unfortunately. Currently on the ground power, and we'll do a quick startup of the TBM today. Not quite following the full checklist, but first things we'll do is remove the yoke. Get our nav and strobe lights on. Fuel selector is in manual. Booster pump is on. A little tired, so I'm struggling to speak tonight, apparently. Prop. Full. Auto on power. And condition lever is off. Up here and hit our starter. I like how the lights dim whenever you start pulling a bunch of juice from the airplane. Alright, looking for 13% NG. 13%. Low idle. Watch for the hot start, and I'm getting nothing. Okay, let's cancel the start. Here, what's going on here? Oh, I didn't have ignition on, so let's let it wind down. That's what I get for not following my checklist.
Yeah, I'm still got no. Seems my avionics aren't on. I gotta figure out how to turn those on.
Okay, NG's pretty much back to zero, so let's go to auto on the ignition, since that would be the smart thing to do. Make sure main on the generator is on, and let's condition idle or condition lever is set to off and start her on. There we go. Now we can hear it igniting. Alright, look for 13% NG. %. Low idle. Hear the fuel injecting. ITT maxed out around 915, so we're good. Now we're looking for NG percent to about around 50%. Once we get to 50, we can go to high idle. And now we can turn off the starter. Alright, let's go ahead and get these doors shut. I just like leaving the door open to hear it ignite and get started. And we'll go ahead and back here and shut the passenger door too. And door shut. Okay. So let's go ahead and start turning on all the avionics. Let's get the reading light on so you guys can see the center console here. Go down to takeoff flaps. While we're looking down here, let's go to aux booster pump to auto and fuel selector to auto. It's kind of hard to see in the dark. And our first waypoint is going to be Alpha Uniform Golf on 114.95. So I'm going to tune that over. We probably won't be able to see it on the ground here. Let's get our gyros on now that all that's started up. Sorry about that. And let's go to battery. Flip our oxygen on. We've got plenty of oxygen. Lead to auto. Air conditioning on and fan to auto. We're going to be climbing up to flight level 280. So let's get the cap pressure set for that. Okay, 280. It's a little above just to make sure we're good there. Okay. Pitot heat on. Inertial separator on, and we'll give it a few seconds to make sure that's working. And while that's going about its way, we're going to go to altitude mode, and we're going to depart here on runway heading, which we are expecting runway 33 right now. So let's tune in 330. Set our course to that. A little sensitive. Inertial separator's on, so that's good. That's what the master caution was for. We're going to pretend we got a squawk code. Radar's in standby. And let me know if you guys are having any issues seeing the cockpit, since it is dark. We don't normally fly in the dark too much on here, and I know that, you know, with YouTube it can kind of come across as grainy. Hey Diesel, how's it going? Glad to see you.
Good evening.
What's going on? Who was that?
That was me, Daz.
How's it going?
Not bad.
I'm going to turn you down a little bit, Daz. A little loud on my end. And we've got Hilly is joining us also.
Yep.
Who else we got around here? I'm not sure who is right around me. The names are not popping up since you guys are right next to me. Okay, so go ahead and tune our second frequency. It's going to be 116.9, although these points are pretty far apart, so we're going to be doing a little bit of dead reckoning. Sky Vector recommended some magnetic headings that we're going to have to follow just to make sure that we don't do anything goofy, so we'll probably just use those going to and from the VORs. Alright, so we are going up to flight level 280, like I said. And the altimeter here is 2982. And without actually going through a checklist, I think I am good to go. I have this plane at max takeoff weight, so we're going to try 1,500 feet per minute. It may not be enough, or maybe too much. Alright, I believe I am ready, once you guys are. Let's pull up the taxi chart. Okay, as usual, I have all my GPS turned off. I do have Volanta running in the background just to track the flight so we can look at it at the end of it, but I do not have it pulled up. And we are facing the runway. Runway 33 is going to be off to our left. Looks like we'll taxi straight up to Alpha and then head southeast all the way down to 33. Once I got home from work earlier, I actually took my Virpil and replaced the default springs, which are medium, with the light springs, and I also went to the no center cam. It's like a VF flight, or a VSM, I think is the type of cam, and then I went to the no center and then tightened the lights all the way down, and just a touch of drag on each one, and it actually feels really good. So I'm pretty happy with that right now. I don't think I launched Track IR. Let's go ahead and launch that real quick. Okay, there we go. Alright. I'm ready if you guys are. Taxi lights on. Park and brake off. And we're going to pretend that this GPU truck and this dude over here are out of the way. Flight controls are free and correct. And let's get started. I need to experiment with having the beta mode turned off in this thing. I feel like it offers a weird little throttle ramp or drop ramp that I'm not a huge fan of. Not sure who this is, but we're gonna go around you. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn my landing lights on because the lights on this thing are not the greatest. I believe they are supposed to be doing an update at some point in the near future to help improve that, though. Kind of go to the volumetric lights and make it a little nicer. So we're going to find our first taxiway out to Alpha. Alright, I don't see any signs indicating this is Alpha, but I'm just going to presume it is, since there's only one taxiway here. So since we are full, we're going to want to get the inertial separator off pretty quickly after takeoff, once we're clear of any potential hazards on the runway. Cabin temperature is comfortable 71 degrees. Despite it being really cool outside at 57.
I'm just seeing, I can't see you guys.
Did you set your multiplayer settings to all off and on?
I haven't changed anything. Do I?
I see you in the distance there.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we seem to be coming towards you.
Yeah, I was a bit late, so I cheated and spawned at the runway.
Oh yeah, I see you over there.
I'm just taxiing off the runway at the moment to the hold.
Do you have a scenery for this? Haley?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, because you're like 50 feet up off the ground.
Oh, okay. Now, are you guys close? Are you guys close to me?
I'm on the opposite side of the runway as you right now.
Just a minute. Turn around. Opposite. Oh, don't see anyone. Oh, okay, let me just go outside of the...
I'm off to your right now.
Yeah,
Taxiing up to you.
hold on. Let me just go out of the server and back in.
You're on the server. I
Yeah.
just don't know if your settings are correct.
I can see other people.
Oh, huh, interesting. I'm holding short here, off to your right. Well, I'm creeping short. There you go.
No one. Okay. Multiplayer settings.
There you are. Oh.
I don't think you can adjust those settings without going back to the main menu, unfortunately.
Oh, Oh,
Give
you
it-
can't do it from within?
Yeah, you can either try that real quick, or you may just... We may just pop back in. It may just be a server issue. That's pretty common.
Yeah, we've had this before.
If you can see other people,
Um,
then you can't see us. It may just be because of the server. So
Yeah.
we'll let you depart first, then, if you want to go ahead and
Okay.
get her going.
And we're climbing up to 2.8.
Yep, 280. We're going to depart runway heading, and then we're going to turn left onto a heading of 255.
Okay.
All right. Get on the runway and hold for about 2 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to let me know when you're ready to go.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just waiting on you.
Oh, okay. Let's get in the center here.
All right, entering runway 33. This is a very curvy taxi path here to get to the runway.
Yeah, it's hard to see in the dark, too.
Yeah, that didn't help. I was a little confused for a second there. We are on runway 33.
Where are you
And
going?
there's... What's that?
Yeah, I see what you mean by the taxi away.
Hey, heli's in the air, so I'm going to give him another 30 seconds or so.
Yeah.
I'm on the runway.
Yeah, I'm just holding very short of the runway to
Okay.
your right and behind.
Yep, I got a visual on you.
I'll bring up the rear.
Alrighty. Alright. I'm rolling. Alright. Eighty knots. Let's go ahead and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Let's go ahead and get that inertial separator off. We're well above the runway now. Something that bugs me about this airplane is you can't see the landing lights on the wing when you're in the air, up in the air.
Oh, now I see everyone.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, we're gonna do a left turn to 255.
Yep.
All right, let's go flaps up.
I was going to do a climbing circle here to let you guys catch up.
Oh, you're okay. Just keep going.
Yeah?
Something is beeping at me, and I don't know what it was. Oh, it was the airport marker.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was. I was trying to figure out what that was.
Oh, this hand flies so nicely after I made those modifications to the vertical. It's so smooth. It doesn't have that really abrupt centering when you go from left to right or forward to back.
Does the Verpal come with all the different cams and springs, or do you have to buy those as a separate package?
It came with it.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, because with the wing, you have to buy it. You can.
Yep.
They all come as one separate package, but you have to buy it as a separate package.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the CM3 base, and it came with all of them. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go into autopilot here. Go ahead and turn that taxi light off.
Passing 5,000.
What altitude are we aiming for?
280.
280.
Okay, and I don't know if this is legal or not, but we're going to go into 850 mode. Make sure we don't over torque the engine. Let's bring it back till we see the torque drop a little bit, then go into 850 mode. And slowly start inching forward until we get about 115 to 120 on the torque. Since we're so full, it'll be nice to have it.
Where is that? How do you switch to?
You've
Talking about that.
you got your
we
flap
can-
lever, and if you move it
Double
forward
tap.
from up, it'll go to 850 mode.
There it is. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I was wondering. I remember you talking about that last week, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It gives you an extra.
Extra 100 horsepower, basically.
Yeah.
It's the go fast switch. Definitely helps with the cruise speed.
I'm doing about 150 and about just over 2,000 feet per minute.
Yeah, I'm 1,500 feet per minute, about 165 and climbing at the moment. Diesel, how does the panel look if I turn the panel brightness down to pretty much the minimums there? It's looks good on from what I can see, but I just want to make sure it looks good on the stream. Somebody off to my left there. Oh, Loggins is off to my left.
Yeah, I've drifted a bit here.
Yeah, just again, I'm on a heading of 255.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get the VOR here shortly once we get some altitude.
So you said flight level 20, like 28?
28,000.
Yeah.
Alright, cabin pressure's going up. Yeah, let's go ahead and get our weather radar on here because we got some weather ahead of us. We might actually be able to see something. One little speck. That's all we get, guess. One little speck. Let's go to the vertical path. Oh, it was actually starting to pull in some data there. Let's see. Yeah, we got a little bit of weather, kind of 11 o'clock or so. Looks like I'm going into IMC here. I can't see hardly anything around me. Outside temperature is negative 26 degrees. So let's go ahead and get our ice light on. Oh, the windows are iced up already. So let's go ahead and get the prop, windshield, airframe de-ice on. And I believe we need to turn the ECS from normal to defog to help with the de-icing. So that clear our windows up. Now I can see some of my lights. Didn't see anything forming on the airframe, so we'll turn that off for now. Just keep an eye on it. I was a little disappointed that the boots don't inflate on this model. This is a fully custom model from Black Square versus what they normally do with just a cockpit overhaul and using the default models. But he did say that that was coming up in a future update. Oh, it looks like I've got the VOR, so I'm going to do left turn to 240 to join it. Got about 35.5 miles on it. And that'll get us to Augusta. Waypoint after that is Montpellier, if I pronounced that correctly. Oh, I just climbed out of the clouds there. Landing lights off since we're over 10,000. And to avoid an abrupt turn via nav mode, we're going to go on the heading of 240 until that needle starts to get in line, then we'll go into nav mode. Let's go ahead and change our course to oh no, that needs to stay at 255. Sorry. Let's get our OBS dial down here. Or this needs to be 255 for NAV2. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, skipped on me. There we go. Should be 5. Alright, let's bump up the power just a little bit here. Gain a little bit of that extra performance. ITT is actually doing really good tonight. 772.
I know this is a silly question. Where's the auto fuel selector where it switches between fuel tanks?
It is over here on the fuel dials. Where you get your fuel pressure and fuel quantity. It's to the left. It says auto. It says fuel select auto man. Just make sure that's flipped up.
Yeah, looking for it.
Is this your first time in the 850?
I was in there once a couple of weeks, like last week, but only once really.
Oh, okay.
I was impressed with it, but it's like, yeah, I need to figure some of this out.
Alright, looking ahead and above, don't think we're going to have any icing issues again, so go ahead and turn off the de-ice and return the ECS control back to normal. Cabin's 71, cabin pressure is rising, and we're looking good. Confirm our top altitude's 280, it's going up in vertical speed mode and it's armed. It's actually pretty smooth leaving there, considering the amount of clouds around. Alright, we can go into nav mode now. May have overshot it just a hair. Alright, so our next magnetic heading is going to be 281. Let's go ahead and dial that in. So we're prepared for that. So once we get within about 2 miles of the Augusta VOR, we're going to go into heading mode and go ahead and do the right turn. I'll pull a navigaph over and kind of show everybody where we're at right now. So we are somewhere around here. Probably about, how many miles were we? 20 miles away. This first leg was 50, so we're actually probably closer to where it says 26 on the map right here. And we're going to do a right turn to Augusta, or at Augusta. I'll go ahead and confirm. Our next VOR is 116.9er. Put that in our standby for nav1. Let's go ahead and put it in nav2.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I've completely lost my horizon, and I've turned around somehow.
Uh-oh. I got a little bit of information on the weather radar here. Just do a magnetic heading of 255. And then set your course to 255 on your VOR, and that'll tell you which direction you need to turn, whether left or right. And while you're looking at your HSI down here, I know we're throwing a lot of acronyms out there, but you'll have these little arrows right here. So this is indicating that we're going to the VOR course of 255.
Yeah, there we go. realized my cabin, it was yelling at me, my cabin pressure was not high enough, so I was looking
There's-
down at that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for the bleed.
Yeah,
No.
you can actually turn your bleed to high if you want to kind of help speed that process up. Plus, the little dial with an arrow next to the cabin out dial, if you turn that clockwise, it will increase the rate of pressure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'll help get you caught back up.
So it's not yelling at me now, so.
Yep. All right, we're above 18,000 feet. Let's go to standard. 2992. And 14.5 miles from Augusta. This is a lot more fun than GPS nav. Definitely not as straightforward though. Unless you want to risk a very long magnetic heading flight, you know, kind of a little bit of dead reckoning. This next one is going to be fun simply because of how far we're going to be without. I think we'll lose both VORs at some point. What's the range on a VOR? About 40 miles?
Size.
Not a clue.
We'll have to ask Dr. Google for that one, huh?
Yeah. It's okay, I just lost all my altitude in the process of looking for that fuel selector thing. For some reason, when I switched tanks manually, I cut off my fuel.
Oh!
So I had to do a mid-flight engine restart, which was quite
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah, igniter on. Big starter on. Check your NG, see where you're at.
Oh, I got it going, but I stalled it during that process, so like somehow recovered.
So low VORs provide navigation services out to 40 nautical miles from 1,000 to 18,000 feet. So what about a long range VOR? Or a high altitude. So the Augusta VOR is a low altitude, so we got about 40 miles, and then the Montpelier is 40 miles. Speaking of VORs, we're 8 miles out, so we'll make sure I don't keep talking and completely pass this up, considering this is a bit of a critical one to catch. We have a 56 knot headwind. Ouch.
Awesome.
I was like, why is my ground speed so slow? This is going to be a slow one, it looks like. May have to pull up some altitude charts and see if we can find a better altitude. Altitude and wind charts.
I've got 67 knots headwind at 28.
How much?
6-7.
Oof, okay.
So it's probably going to get worse the higher you climb.
Yeah, I had SimBrief make this flight plan for me, so I imagine it would pick the most ideal altitude, but SimBrief's always, you know, not always 100% accurate.
And VOR ranges are up to 200 nautical miles. It depends on the individual station.
Yeah, the low altitude VORs, which are the ones we're navigating to right now, are 40, and then they're up to 200 on the high. Dr. Google for the win.
Yeah.
At least it didn't tell me I was going to die.
Who's the guy that cut their fuel supply?
That was me.
Yeah, I did the same thing about 10 minutes ago. I had to quickly turn off my autopilot, put the nose a little down, and it was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I forgot about the autopilot part. That's why I kind of went into a stall.
Alright, I just lost my VOR, so I'm doing a right turn to 281. In heading mode. We should be able to get the from.
Yeah, if you stay on the
NAV for a
first
minute.
frequency,
Yep. Alright, I got it back in.
that's 281.
It's dancing around at the moment, so we'll let it kind of settle down. Yeah, I lost it at like 4 miles away or so. 3 or 4 miles away. Alright, it's getting close to settling, so we'll be able to go back into nav mode, and we'll leave here on course of 281. And that'll get us almost halfway.
What's your ground speed now, Mark?
Ground speed now is 122. That is painfully... Oh, it just jumped up to 134. I just got the cruise. So we're going to firewall this thing tonight. And I'm going to do a slight left turn to get back onto the 281 radio, leaving Augusta. Maybe I should have made the flight plan for the opposite direction. We'd be blazing around at like 400 knots. I'll remember that for next time, guys. Sorry.
All good. Just means it lasts longer.
Yeah, there you go. Nice pretty sunset though. The benefit of going this direction is we get to chase it. At, you know, Mach like 0.05, but I am speeding up a little bit. I'm up to 220 knots. That's a little more comforting. I brought a lot of extra fuel, mainly just in case I screwed something up in my navigation, but I'm kind of glad I did now. I don't have to worry about trying to fly for fuel economy tonight. Not that any of us are paying for the fuel. Alright, we're starting to get close to that radio of 281. Yeah, let's go back into nav mode. So we'll go ahead and dial our NAV2 into the next waypoint, 116.9. That way we'll be able to maybe get a visual indication if we pick it up before we lose Augusta. Not holding my breath though. Up to 242 knots ground speed. Course course, we've got a 64 knot headwind. So here you can see our magnetic heading is a little to the left to account for that crosswind. Magnetic of 277 and a course of 281.
Is everyone on standard barometric pressure or all QNH at the moment?
Standard above 18,000.
Oh, alright. Extend.
And what's your transition altitude where you live?
Not sure, Rob. Stand by.
Alright, let's check the Navigraph charts here. Let's check the weather. See if we can get some wind information in Navigraph. So we are somewhere around here. Get that weather overlay on. Looks like we got a little bit of weather once we get closer. I'll have to keep track of. Let's go to winds. Wind barbs. This is at flight level 220.
10,000 feet, apparently. So, no excuse.
10,000?
10,000.
And the jet stream, I think we're flying right into the jet stream. We're on the north side of it, but things will improve a little bit on our next leg when we kind of head to the south, but we're just going to have a beast of a crosswind. What else do we have on here? Vertical velocity, interesting. Air sig. Icing from 5,000 to 14,000. Yep, we experienced that. So 14,000 on icing.
Sighted. When right below. Reaching out.
Good evening, gentlemen. You guys started a little bit early today.
Go on, Reigns. Start at the same time as always. On
Say
Thursdays.
again?
6 o'clock on Thursdays, 7 on Sundays.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That's 7. All right. You guys have landed to the first airport yet?
Yeah, we are between Augusta and Montpelier. However you say that. Am I saying that right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got it.
You could probably take off from Kilo Hotel India Echo. It'll put you slightly in front of us. Or 0 Bravo 1, which that doesn't have a very long runway. 3,800 feet.
Oh, okay, let me see if I can catch up. I'll be back in a minute. Be back
Okay.
in a few.
So we're 38.1 miles away. Definitely not expecting anything on VOR 2. Ground speed of 254. So since we're going to have such a strong crosswind on this next leg, I think we can fly. I guess course goes away if you lose the VOR. So we're going to have quite a crosswind. Sky Vector gave us a heading of 244. And that makes sense because the direct heading would be 231. So we'll be kind of turning right into that crosswind to make it for that little cha-cha slide we'll be doing. Okay, it looks like I have lost my VOR, so we're going to go into heading mode on a heading of 283. That doesn't seem right. I feel like we should be 281. Yeah, let's keep it at 281.
Yeah, I just lost it too.
We might even want to bring it in to what do you guys think? 278 maybe? Just kind of counteract that crosswind a little bit.
Looks for me.
Actually, we kept the course, so if we keep a course of 281, I wonder how that measures that. Oh, I think it's just measuring the. It's not really measuring off anything. Okay.
If you want to split the difference, I can do one, you can do another, and see who gets lost.
Okay, I'll do 278 and.
I'll do 281.
Okay. We'll see how far off we are. Because, I should have kept note of how many degrees we returned. But 3 degrees isn't too bad. So I don't have this VOR anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and swap over to the next one. And we're going to pray at this point. With such a slight crosswind, though, at some point we will capture the VOR again. Or the next one.
Yeah. It might get a traffic advisory because I'm just coming up off your right, right?
Oh, I don't have a GPS in this thing right now, so it's... I don't know if it'll tell me if there's traffic or not. Oh, you know, the one thing we probably should have done is test our terrain real quick. Make sure that's active. Because that actually failed on me the other night when we were flying. Okay, terrain is active.
it's definitely the server acting up. You guys keep popping in and out.
Oh, yeah.
I see other people.
Interesting. You've probably been seeing those same other people, but for some reason, I don't know if it, like, segregates us on the server somehow.
Yeah.
I think we had the same issues last week.
Yeah, we have this issue every week. I don't know why it's such a common issue. I really don't think it's that hard to keep track of where people are in the sim, since how many apps track that, you know, successfully.
It'll be fixed in 2024.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah.
Keep you guessing. I really hope for 2024 that the process of bringing mods over is as painless as it can be, especially for ones we've already paid for. I don't expect things to be completely free, though.
I'm really looking forward to that AI, the AI air traffic control program that's supposed to come out before the end of this year. And
Oh, was it real ATC or something like that?
Beyond
something like
ATC.
that. Yeah.
We are
And,
ATC, yeah.
That transfers over nicely as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because from what I've seen of the demo videos, it's kind of a whole different thing then.
Yeah, they announced it at the Flight Sim Expo when I was there, and it looked pretty good. Now, if I'm going to do ATC, I'm just going to go on VATSIM, personally.
So you're going to?
I fly on VATSIM pretty frequently. I just don't typically do it on stream because I'm talking to you guys, and I got 10 people in my ears, you know, jibber jabbering, and then ATC's yelling at me too. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. So I tend not to do the group flights on VATSIM.
Oh no, I wouldn't do group flights with it, but it'll make flying by yourself a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I've got probably 300 or 400 hours on it. I really enjoy it. I haven't flown this on there yet. I need to. This would be fun to fly on VATSIM. So this leg alone was actually an hour and 18 minutes. Should have started a timer on this one to know how far we're into this. Guess I'll start a timer now. Oh, we got a flight timer of 35 minutes, so that does not make sense.
I've just got the VOR.
You just go. You just got. Oh, I did too. Look at that. Hey, not too far off of it.
You won. I need to change course.
It didn't do something, you know, crazy. I was only a little less than 1 dot off. That's not too bad. So I'm gonna do a left turn to 275 to rejoin the nav track. You've done a handful of VATSIM flights. It's a little too stressful for you. Yeah, it can be a little chaotic, especially when the controllers are a little overworked. Now, if a lot of the times into Atlanta, if they've got top-down coverage, it's really good, actually. But sometimes you'll end up with just like a center or just an approach or something into Atlanta, and it gets just utter chaos. Especially when people are asking like, how do you change the heading mode in the Airbus A320 or something like that?
nice if there was like a checklist of hey, you should master these things before you jump into that sim.
Well, I feel like you should be able to obviously fly the whole flight and then also be able to vector yourself into an airport before you get on that sim. I mean, beyond that, there's not too much they ask that's crazy. I've had some weird requests lately, but nothing that wasn't impossible to figure out. Mike and I flew down to New Orleans a few weeks ago and we got an instruction. It was like, when you're 4.5 miles past this waypoint, do a right turn to this heading, descend, maintain this altitude. And it was just like, did you just tell me to do it past that point? So, but then you have to like go into, you normally you're flying in arc mode on your map, or your nav display, so then you have to go into plan or something like that in the Airbus so that you can see how far away you are, and you're kind of guessing. Because once you get to those waypoints, it pretty much just removes it from the flight plan. And of course we landed, and I was wondering why there was airplanes parked all in the grass and everything. There was like 4 or 5 different airliners just parked in the middle of a field. And he told me to take a taxiway, and I was like, yeah, I don't have that taxiway. He's like, you on Microsoft Flight Simulator? I was like, yep. He goes, yep, that's why. I was like, oh, great.
Maybe it was his first time on that sim.
Well, that was the controller.
Still had the training wheels on.
He must have been bored just trying to screw with us or something. It made it interesting. I got a good laugh out of it. And then I got Mike behind me. You know, my readback was like, could you repeat that, please? And then, of course, Mike's behind me taking notes. So, of course, he responds flawlessly with his response. We're going to start making you fly in front of me. Because every time me and him get on VATSIM, we get some weird instructions. Flying into Atlanta, they told us 40 miles from the airport, head directly to Atlanta. So, you know, you're on these arrivals and suddenly you're just completely ignoring it. Oh, 40 miles from the airport, be at 15,000 feet, head and direct to Atlanta. Which, that's not a really hard instruction. Neither of those are really hard instructions. It's just not something you normally would expect. Okay, so coming up on Montpellier, our next waypoint is going to be Albany on 1153. This one is 100 miles.
It just popped up again. And you're literally just below me and on my port side.
No.
Wow. Wow, you could have done that better.
You're following the instructions well then, huh?
Wow.
Alright, so there's not really anything to look at as far as cities below. Yeah, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere right now. There's an airport to the northwest, just in case we have some issues though. Getting to it might be a slight challenge. You'll have to navigate off that VOR. I'll get to jump back into nav mode for a brief second, just to go right back into heading mode, and then right back into nav mode. Ooh, a little bit of turbulence. Alright, our course leaving this VOR is going to be 244. Let's go ahead and jump back into nav mode here. I'm going to dial in 244 on the heading. And when we get it around, we'll watch it at 5 miles and see how close we get to the VOR before we lose it again. The last one we lost kind of early. It was kind of weird. Could be our altitude though. Because these are low altitude VORs. There's an option in SimBrief to do VOR nav only. I wonder if it uses high altitude VORs when you do that. Because I planned one and it had an awful long distance between VORs, so I didn't think about the high versus low altitude VOR distance when I did that earlier. But that would have been kind of a boring flight anyways. It was the VOR and Bangor, and then the VOR outside Syracuse, basically. So it's pretty much a straight line. All right, so I'm starting to get some wobbly results on my HSI here. So let's go ahead and go into heading mode. Once we lose the VOR, which I imagine is about to happen, for a left turn to 244. Confirm our next frequency of 115.3. Alright, just lost that. Let's go to heading mode. Go ahead and swap over to 11. Oh no, I'm sorry, we don't need to swap yet. We need to leave this VOR. Skip steps here. So I need to change my course to 244. Excuse me. We'll let that settle back in. It's starting to come back in and settle out some. Once that pretty much stabilizes, we'll go back into nav mode. This is 100 miles out, so you know what we should do here. Let's go ahead and put a function, start a timer. Alright, that seems pretty settled. Let's go back into nav mode, let it course correct for us. It's a nice smooth turn. We were on the inside a little bit since we turned around 4 miles or so. So it makes sense that we had to scoot over to the left just a hair to course correct. Alright, so let's do a little confirmation here. 244 on the heading course, or I'm sorry, the course 244. We'll see what the heading settles out as, because we're going to want to take note of this crosswind now, because it did flip to the other side. So once the plane levels off again, we will push the heading bug, let it settle onto that heading. That way we'll already know what heading we need to be on, pretty much, to leave here, instead of guessing like last time. And then let's go ahead and swap VORs on NAV 2. Oh, we already have it? I do, look at that. Just barely have it, it looks like. One 153. It's bouncing around quite a bit, so we'll give it a minute here. So I got a low signal on the next one, which is interesting since we're 85 miles away from it. But it's bouncing all over the place though, so we'll give it a minute to settle in. Alright, plane's loaded off. Let's push the heading bug just to center that. And we got a heading of 249.
Finally caught up. What speed are you guys flying at?
Ground speed's 256.
I gotta slow down.
269.
Verify we're on a bearing of 244 right now.
Course of 244, yes.
Yeah, and flying away from, yeah, was it MPV? At least that's what I'm doing. I'm still tuned in on the MPV frequency.
You know what?
116.9.
Now that we have this next nav, the direct path to this next waypoint is 231. So we probably need to go to that course.
That's what I've got.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and fix that.
231.
And let's go to swap this. Nav mode. I forgot it kicks you out of nav mode right there. So I wonder why the magnetic heading was so far off. Oh, it's because it was adjusting for the winds, that's why. So, since it's 100 miles, we're going to be getting pushed to the left. So, by being way to the right, by the time we got to that point, we would have been over the VOR. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense.
I see you guys to my left.
Are you guys all in the 850?
I
It's
am.
gorgeous.
Did you ask, are we all in it, or what do we think of it?
Oh, well, I imagine you guys are loving it. I just can't afford it yet. So I'm in the 930.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoy it. I don't think it's necessarily anything above and beyond the typical Black Square offerings. Yet. Eventually, maybe. Ooh, I just got smacked around.
Yeah, same. It's a bit of turbulence this flight level.
I'm hopeful that they continue improving the flight model. There's some oddities. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on takeoff, I feel like as soon as I get airborne, it wants to nose over. And then also on landing, it's very floaty. The turboprop, I've always understood it to be that when you pull power, the thing basically wants to just stop in the air. Okay, so just to recap what we did there, because that was a little odd with the winds, since we have such a strong crosswind here. The heading mode that SkyVector gave us, or the magnetic heading, was while we... Let me just pull that graph over here, make it a little easier to explain. So we got a crosswind going from west to east. So our magnetic heading had us kind of going in this direction, which would take us, you know, to the right of the nav track. But since the winds are pushing us to the right on the map here, we're flying further to the left to adjust for that, and eventually we would settle back into the VOR. So it's kind of trying to keep us flying to the right side of the nav track, but with the winds pushing us back, it'll keep us on the track pretty well at the end of the... Well, it won't keep us on the track during it, but at the end of it, we should have been over Albany. That's the theory, at least. Although the winds are bouncing all over the place right now, so we probably would have ended up in Detroit or something instead. But luckily we were able to get that VOR pretty early. So I've about 60 miles from Albany. From Albany, we're going to do a right turn on a magnetic heading of 297. And a course of... I don't have it on my Navigraph. I think SkyVector is 284. Or 283. Yeah. Oh, I see what the big discrepancy is also coming from. I guess Bloggins, you're the one who posted the picture of that SkyVector. The nav. The what's it called? I swear, words are failing me. Basically, the flight plan. You had the altitude set for 80,000 feet, so the winds aren't quite as severe. Compared to this 107 knot headwind that we have right now. Well, quartering headwind.
Oh, everyone just disappeared again.
I did it again. I was muted and you didn't hear a single thing I just said.
Oh, nope, yep. That'll get you every time.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just thought, yeah, I'm not used to SkyVector, so I just took what you posted and pasted in there. I didn't realize that SkyVector actually takes weather metadata into consideration and calculates all this stuff for you as well, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, it is. That explains why you're, I was looking at the times and it says that the cumulative flight time for this is 4 hours. And it's assuming your true airspeed of 110 knots.
Yeah.
So really we're about a little less than 2 hours. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here at 200 knots, so.
I just wanted the radio frequencies.
Yeah, it's nice what they show you there. It'd be nice if they had a little legend to tell you what all those acronyms meant to.
Mm-hmm.
A small little city off to my left there.
Okay, now I see absolutely no one, like no other aircraft.
Uh-oh.
I'm so alone.
Looking at
Okay,
the
I see.
shape of that city, it might be Lebanon. Lebanon.
All
Off
I
to
know
our
is
left
I
there.
suspect that my passengers are passed out because my cabin pressure warning light's been on this entire time.
It's just, it's nappy time. That's all it is.
Yeah. See, like I assume on the ECS you set the cabin altitude to the flight, the altitude we're flying at, so just below 3. Bleed set to auto and.
Oh, that's
fan
why.
on.
Yeah.
So my cabin altitude is set, so the inner ring is slightly above 2.8, and the outer ring is a little about 8.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're trying to pressurize to, what'd you say, 3,000
Yeah.
feet? So if you turn that up to about 8.5 on the
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So your PSI is probably like in the 15 range or something.
Yeah.
Is that only on the 950, or is that also on the 650? Or what's the TBM that we?
850 is the black square, 930 is the default.
Gotcha. So, what you're just explaining for the pressurization, is that for both planes or just for the black square?
The black square. The concept is the same, and I think the default. Do you set it in the default, or does it automatically do it?
On the 930, it's automatic.
Okay.
There's a dump button you can press, and yeah,
That's just the cause chaos button.
yeah, that's have fun button.
123.75 Beechcraft Golf Sierra Kilo.
Yeah, it's definitely winter's definitely around the corner. You don't usually see these winds in the summertime.
Gotta get my winter tires on soon.
Another couple of little small towns off to our left here. I wish Navigraph had a distance measuring tool. I am honestly surprised it's not integrated. Because I would, for VOR flights, I would use that constantly. So our Albany to Syracuse is a distance of 103 miles. So we're at 28. What's Syracuse's altitude? 421 feet. So descent profile of 2,000 feet per minute. Actually, what kind of procedures do we have? See, I need to learn how to use the RNAV radio in this thing so that I could do an RNAV approach. which it's not quite the same. It's a little different. This is using some form of ground navigation system and known distances and radials from those points. But I haven't spent too much time learning how to do that yet. I need to do that, and maybe next week we can do an RNAV approach using this system. I'll have to practice with it some because I honestly just don't know how to use it.
The KSYR airport does have ILS, if you're interested.
Yes, 33 does have an ILS. I do plan to do that ILS. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
wrong airport. Let's go to the other airport. Charts. Pull Navgraph over so you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh, 33 has an RNAV. So I'm curious. Okay, so we have a direction of 327, and then we know the distance, so we might be able to put this in and give it a try. Worst case, we'll just vector ourselves out with the VOR and come back in, because it should be a visual approach tonight. Oh, let's check the weather real fast, make sure nothing's changed. Winds are 30 at 6, so yeah, we're gonna be on runway 33. Well, we got a TAC can. Here we go. We can do the using the Syracuse VOR, we can do a radial of 314 to get us into the airport. It's not a straight in approach, but it'll be pretty good. So once we get closer to Syracuse, we can move to the 314, and I'm going to try to enter this into the KNS 80 radio, or KS radio, whatever it was, and see if we can get this to work. So we're going to try putting in these waypoints here. So this Zinner, Kazo, and Jodob waypoints in there, and we know the distance from each of these given by this D right here. D 8.5, 8.8, 11.6, and 3.6 on a radio of 314. So let's see if we can enter that into the system. And I better pay attention because I'm only 10 miles away from our next turn here. So let's go ahead and save that one real quick. And we're going to leave Albany on a course of 283. So go heading 283.
How long is that last leg?
It is 104 miles.
Oh, quite a ways.
Yeah, so we got a few minutes.
We got lots of time to get down. Or somewhat. Well, still can't see you guys.
Oh, it's disappointing.
Something just popped up.
Oh. Alright, so there's the city below us.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see.
Oh.
Actually, what
You're
city
right.
is this?
You're right in front of me, too. Everyone's coming back online again.
South Bethlehem, South Albany. This is just Albany. Okay, so let's go to heading mode. We just lost the VOR. Whoops, wrong button. Actually, I'm curious to see. We got this nav arm. Got a course 283. Let's see what this nav arm does in this situation. Oh, okay, cool. As soon as we got the VOR back, it went back into nav mode. Awesome. Alright, so we're on a course 283 and we're leaving Albany. And let's look at this chart again here. See if we can figure out this radio nav system here. So the KNS80. So display 1. It's going to be in... Is it going to be VOR mode or RNAV mode? It's going to be VOR mode. So VOR frequency is going to be... is it just 117? Yep, 117. That's annoying. Oh. Okay, so it's actually coming in right now. Cool. So, data. Ooh, what happened here? Turn on the course 283. Okay. So display 1. At so frequency radial is going to be 314 and distance for this first waypoint is going to be 17.6. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, so I guess if you hit data again, it goes back 314. Okay, perfect. So now let's display number 2. It's going to be 117 again. The frequency. Hit data again. Radio of 314. This is probably going to fail miserably for us, but we're going to give it a try. And a distance for this one is 11.6. Go back to data and display number 3. 117 on the frequency. Radio 314. And distance 8.8. And then display number 4 is going to be oh, there's only 3. Oh, never mind, there's a distance of 5.9. We should be at the runway at 5.9 miles away. So we'll go with the frequency 117. Radio 314. Distance is 5.9. Shoot. Whoa, too far. 5.9. Okay, so Now my next question is how do I get this KNS80 to be what we follow? Does anybody know?
Not a clue.
Okay.
You have to do the thing.
Yes, it's always the thing.
Just mash the buttons.
So I've actually already got the VOR for so if I change this to 117, go over to it. I guess this is you hit the approach mode maybe? And I need to be on a course of 283. So we're a little off here. So it's really off actually. Let's go into heading mode. Soften this turn just a little bit so we don't just waste a bunch of time. So I'm going to assume that once I hit approach mode, it should take me to this computer which I've set up. The KNS80 and turn that on. I'm completely guessing this is literally the first time I've ever used this thing, so we'll see when we get there. Girlfriend's daughter wants me to watch the rest of a scary movie we were watching. Okay, so we're heading to Syracuse, course 283. Slowly correcting for that right now.
I'm just wondering if we should be dropping altitude yet.
Yeah, let's see, we're 82 miles out, 3 times 30, 90, so yeah, probably. I'm going to drop down to, we'll start at 18. Do a vertical speed of 1,000 feet per minute. Actually, so we're 22 minutes away, 21 minutes away, so we need to drop 30,000 feet, 20 minutes, or 27 something in 20 minutes, so we actually need to go down to 2,000 feet per minute, or, well, more like 17. Doing very rough math. I'm going to leave in 850 mode for now, but we're going to have to watch this torque pretty carefully because we will over torque it real easy on this descent, since I do have it firewalled at the moment. Actually, so let's call it 20 minutes. So we can actually decrease this descent some. and we'll go down to 3,700 actually. Change my mind.
So do what?
Through 3,700. That's the
Oh, we're dropping all the way down to 3,700.
yeah, 3,700. Yep.
Alright.
Going down to that first waypoint at Jodab.
It's a big step from 18,000.
I changed my mind.
That was good. It's a turn of a dial.
It's saying
Still
seven.
descending fast, or did you reduce that a bit?
I'm at 1,400 feet per minute right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little more of a right turn here. Try to get back on this track a little better than I am. Trying to split the difference a little bit here. So
3,700? 37?
yes, 3.7. So we got 17 minutes. And 17 minutes at 1,400 feet per minute. That'll drop me another 23,800 feet, which will, I'm a little ahead of my altimeter at the moment. So 1,400 should be about right for me. If I were a guessing man, that is Syracuse up there. There's somebody up there in front of me there. Got Heli. We're trying to get in behind him now.
Oh, can you see me?
Yep, I got your lights right ahead of me there.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get our landing lights on. A little ahead of
Back to
schedule.
Not seeing anyone again.
Oh. The weather at Syracuse altimeter is 29904. Since we're descending through 18,000, we'll go ahead and swap over. $15 miles, 15 times 14.
Center Beach, Red Delta Sierra, X-ray Golf Sierra, Kilo Flight Level 205. Beach, Red Delta Sierra,
It's
X-ray
21
Golf Sierra, Kilo
21,000 feet. So yeah, we're doing okay. So I screwed something up when we left Albany, because I'm still flying towards course of 283 on the radio for Syracuse. So I'm splitting the difference between 283 and the NAV track, so
Guys using the magnetic heading.
oh, there's that torque. Told you it'd burn me. Let's go ahead and go out of 850 mode. Luckily that was a quick exceedance, so no damage. I'm going to increase my rate of descent a little bit here.
And it looks
So
like I look at it and the needle is going down, but then I look away for a bit and I'm like, oh crap, I only got 500 feet.
yeah, the needle feels like it's moving a lot faster.
Yeah.
So I am 13 minutes away. I'm currently losing. In 13 minutes, I'll lose 22,000 feet or so. The 1,700 feet per minute, which will be good because we need to be at 3,700. A little over 17 miles away. I may or may not be looking at the manual for the KNS-80. Oh, VOR is a momentary push button. Push for conventional VOR DME operation. Push VOR again for VOR PAR function. Push RNAV again for RNAV approach. So I think this is a PAR approach. We're using a VOR. Oh no, that's precision approach radar. Okay, so this is an RNAV approach then. May have to do some experimenting with this if this fails miserably. Alright, display, let's go back to display 1. We're 2.6 miles away still, so we're okay. Should be able to go back into approach mode here momentarily. 14,000, 42 miles out, 10 miles to go, so it's 17,000. So that'll be about right.
Hey, I can see Mike's house from here.
I told him what we were doing, and he was very upset with me.
Do you know where he's at tonight?
He had to do something with his kid tonight. Well, I don't want to say had to. He's doing something with his kid tonight, so. It sounded kind of bad when I see you say it that way.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to go back into approach mode here. Not approach, nav mode.
Yeah, I think I've lost the radios.
You've lost them?
Well, I've lost signal from Alpha Lima Bravo there. I don't seem to see it anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Should have
not getting any
Syracuse.
fix. Yeah.
I've had Syracuse for a while. Yeah, Syracuse is a high altitude VOR, so you should be able to pick that up.
Do you know what the frequency is?
117.
Andy, how do you get the text to be green and smaller for the name tags?
Oh, that's from flightsim.to. It's an add-on.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. There's some really nice ones
Yeah.
out there that look a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had this one since like day one of flightsim.to discovery.
And do you drop it into your community
update
folder?
Yeah, you just drop it into, well, you unzip it, and then you drop that file into the community folder, and it's there, it's done.
Sweet.
Alright, so about... maybe 30 miles out. We'll probably want to start inching to the left so that we can get on the 313 radio. Curious, if I go into approach mode, does it change anything? Didn't do anything. So if I go to RNAV, did that keep on my... Oh, so see, this has got minutes. Alright, start pulling some power back here so we don't exceed 250.
I can't see anyone at all again. What's your ground speed?
261.
Oh, okay.
My airspeed's 250 though.
Okay.
Oh, see, I got the airport in sight there. Or I presume that's the airport.
You should be quite a bit ahead of me then.
So I'm gonna go ahead and course correct for a radio of 313. So I'm sorry, 314. I really wish I knew how to turn this on. Approach.
My ILS just kicked in.
Got an ILS for 33.
Yeah, for runway 28.
Okay, I gotcha. Alright, we're 20 miles, 22 miles out. Let's go ahead and start slowing up. To about 205 or so. This is in VOR mode. I'm going to hit approach mode and see what it does.
Oh, some people are popping in. I might even get to see you guys as we land.
So we could have done a straight in for, what'd you say, it's 2.8 or 2.7? Yep.
There it goes now.
I think I may have tried to shift a little too late there.
Oh, I see the runway.
I see the airport.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a left turn here.
I'm way off to the...
go into heading mode for a second here. Start slowing up some more.
I'm coming straight in.
Yeah, I was trying to get this KNS80 to work and get a little behind everything. Okay, we should be able to start our turn and then go back into nav mode. I'm gonna try the approach button, see what happens. Drop set of flaps.
I'm still nine miles out.
This is not looking right.
You said we're going in for 3-3, correct? Okay, that's that one there.
Oh, you know what? This actually is looking correct. I'm just too high. I need to keep descending. Let's go and get our gear down here.
Gear down.
Okay, so I think this radio might be working. No, I think it's just still in, use... Okay. We're just going to ignore that radio so we can land the airplane. Alright, 120 knots. Go ahead and remove autopilot. Brought me in on the radio correctly, but I was just using the VOR for that, so using the KNS80 didn't quite work too well for me. Alright, landing lights are on, landing gears down, 3 green, double check them, checked, and landing flaps. Continue on drifting off to the left here. And I wish I knew what does approach mode do? Maybe I did need to be in approach mode. Huh, I don't know. I'm going to have to give that one a try. Oh, your landing lights ahead of me look like Pappy's at first. I was like, man, I'm right on the money. I think I'm a little high.
I'm just crossing the threshold. Oh, this thing is so easy to land.
Yeah, it'll float for a while too.
Yeah. But it's so...
Still a little high. We're going to keep dropping her now and get back on this better looking glide slope. That's what I get for trying to do new things on an approach. Alright, let's pull a little bit of power. Flaps landing, gear down. Landing lights are on.
I hate trying to find my way around the airport in the dark.
Oh yeah, it's kind of miserable sometimes. We'll be pulling off to the left though.
Okay.
Let's slow up just a little bit more, get closer to 90 knots. Oh, I'm so glad I made those changes to the Verpal. It feels so good now. Minimums are going to go ahead and continue. Words are hard today.
Yeah, no, I don't see you guys at all anyway.
I'm landing. I'm over the threshold.
Are you? Okay, no, don't see you. You'll have to guide me to where... Can you see me?
Nice.
I saw you landing. Super floaty. Ooh, nice gentle touchdown there. See if we can't make this taxiway here. Burn up some brake pads. Taxi light. Alright, I'm right behind you, so start scooting forward.
Okay. Left or right? There, can see.
Just
I
head
got
towards,
it off.
head straight towards the terminal.
That's great.
I believe we're on Sierra, if I were to guess. Yep, we're in between the two terminals there. Or the two gates.
Controller's panicking. There's a landing on 28 and 33 happening at the same time.
You say 2.8 and 3.3 at the same time? Interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably because of the ILS.
1,100 feet with Oscar to left. Beach route Alpha Sierra.
Yep, diesel. I just pulled up Volanta over here, and that was 54 feet per minute. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Heli just keep going all the way up to the lights at the terminal there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you got that Andre's light mod or not, but definitely helps in this situation.
Keep going straight.
Keep going straight, yep. And actually, you know what? If you want to stop right there. Oh. Wasn't expecting that abruptly. Oh, nope, never mind. That's grass to my left. Keep scooting up. Otherwise, I'll be sitting in the grass. Go forward about 200 feet. Right, yeah, just a little bit past that taxi line right there. That was going to your left and right. That way I can... Yeah, that's good right there. Oh, that's hilarious. You're going to be floating about 5 feet up in the air.
What is there?
I'll turn my big strobes off. These landing lights off.
I'm going to have to make it daytime so we can get a decent group picture here. It's just like pitch black behind us.
I just set it for sunset or sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 6:30 is.
I got 7:30 and 7:30 a.m.
Oh, okay.
That'll look good.
Guess I could have gotten a little closer.
Oh, I see someone. I see people beside me.
I have the floating TBM here. See, is that everybody? Oh, CRJ's coming in for a landing. He must have joined us at some point along the lines.
I find my my glasses fog up in this crystal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have to have a fan on. I talked to them. There you go, do some wheelies. I talked to them, said that they need to turn, or give us the option to increase the fan.
Is there a fan in there?
There is a fan in there, yes, but
I don't feel anything or hear anything. It scared me this evening starting up. That's why I was a little bit late. the USB-C plug had come out of the hub.
Yep.
So when I turned it turned on, and then just went blank. And I'm like, what the? And then nothing.
Yeah, mine.
And
I had mine sitting next to me. I had to turn the USB-C off. I don't know if the plug is just weak or what, but it was going in and on and off, on and off.
yeah, I've heard that people are taping it up, and
Yeah,
in fact, I might.
shouldn't have to do
I
that.
put the one that they give you is quite short, so I've taken that off and put a longer one on,
Yep.
and that'll give me a bit more flex. But I'm thinking I might just get some electrical tape and just tape it to it so it doesn't pull out again. I'd hate for it to break the plug or something like the internal plug.
Yeah. All right. DRJ, what I did is I turned nameplates on and took a picture with you behind the airplanes. I included you.
I'm shocked the King Air is slower than the TBM.
What was that?
The King Air, the TBM is much faster than the King Air.
Oh, yeah, it is. I'm going to be right back, guys, and then we can get another sprint shot here in a minute if you guys want to hang around. I'm gonna shut the stream down. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody joining me tonight. I hope you had a good time. Maybe even learned something. Definitely not how to use the KNS radio, if anything. So with that, guys, I'll catch you on Sunday. And Diesel, I'll catch you later too. It was thanks for joining. All right, guys, happy flying.